of deletion.
Joshua Akwayo says he'd just left his home when men bundled him into a car, handcuffed him and put a bag over his head. It was the day after protesters in Nairobi entered Parliament 2 weeks ago. Joshua was there.
We need to make our own decisions.
He's a student leader at Kenya's law school. He says he doesn't know where he was detained, but he was interrogated and beaten.
They were asking me questions I didn't have answers to.
He says they asked him who was organising and funding the protests.
It's an experience I don't like to remember because every time I remember, I get disoriented.
The leaderless demonstrations were initially against a finance bill that would have raised taxes and widespread corruption. After police killed dozens of protesters, many started calling for President William Ruto and his government to resign. Police have arrested hundreds of people. More than 180 of them were brought here, the Milimani law courts, and charged with various crimes including looting and destruction of property. They've all since been released on bail. Defence lawyers say they were arrested for exercising their constitutional right to protest, while police let the looters walk free. This CCTV footage shows prominent social media activist Shad Khalif being bundled into a car days before a protest.
The people who have been abducted and then released have said that they've been in the company of police officers. No high authority than the Deputy President has declared to the nation about 2 weeks ago that the intelligence and the security services have been abducting people, and therefore we have been very concerned that this seems to be part of a policing strategy that has no basis under our law.
President Ruto has said the abductions will be investigated and those responsible held to account.
We used to come over here.
That hasn't reassured activists like Bill Eugene Amolo, who says he was abducted last month and forced to sit naked in a room flooded with cold water for 24 hours. After he was released, he fled Nairobi.
I just miss home, and I personally feel like, I'm a refugee in my own country.
Bill says he took part in the protests to defend Kenya's constitution. Many of the demonstrators say, whether it's policing protests or managing public funds, all they ask is for a government that follows the law. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Nairobi.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.